This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. I do agree with that. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, how are you doing on this lovely March the 16th? Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin Day of 2026. Hopefully you're good and grand. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over here.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yeah, infiltration and Radio Big is kind of the way that it goes about everything in life. So there you go. Oh, I'm supposed to give this to you too. Oh, here you go.
Although the following radio show has not yet been rated, it is guaranteed to put a smile right on your Monday. So turn it up a little. The fun, the excitement, it all begins right now.
I don't know if it's fun or an excitement, but it's definitely something, that is for sure. So anyways, let's get into it. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse of ours. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of things going on. Like so much that I'm not even sure where to start. So did you stay up late last night? Did you watch the Oscars? Some people did, some people didn't. That's kind of just the way that it goes. Let's see. As I'm already looking at the reports from today, I already have hundreds, is what it seems like, of clips for us to discuss and go over and all that kind of fun stuff in regards of everything that's going on. So what are you ready to do? You ready to go down that path, or do you want to go down something else starting off? I mean, we can do whatever. I mean, that's kind of the great thing about it, is that we can go wherever angle you want. So let's do this. Let's talk about what we can do. I can bring in my friends from Feature Story of the News. We can talk about safety in the news and safety, because that's kind of the thing that we do. Not a difficult process. And then from that particular portion on, what will happen going forward is then I will come in and do a level of a main story, and then we can interact and do all that kind of fun stuff if you're so inclined to do so. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it, and then we can move forward. If you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com. We'll get you exactly where you need to be. That's the simplest format of doing that, and then we can move forward with everything else going on inside of the world, though. Seriously, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to do in regards of all of the stuff. So a lot of things going on right there. And then callinradio.com if you want to do interactive show, video, audio, and text messaging. Those are the options of everything that's going on. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this. I will bring in my friends from Feature Story News and we'll get moving.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Neha Punya. Iran's foreign minister is rebuffing any suggestions that his government has asked the U.S. for a ceasefire as the conflict in the Middle East has now entered its third week. It follows U.S. President Donald Trump posting on social media over the weekend that Iran was beaten and completely decimated militarily, economically, and in every other way. Mitch McCann has more.
In a phone conversation with the US network NBC on Saturday, President Trump said he wasn't willing to make a deal to end the war, despite Iran's willingness to do so. But on Sunday, on rival network CBS, Iran's foreign minister said they have not asked for a ceasefire or negotiations, and that Iran is ready to defend itself for as long as it takes. Also on Sunday, US Energy Secretary Chris Wright said he expects the war will wind down in a couple of weeks, saying that Americans will experience short-term pain due to high oil costs, but he expressed confidence that the US can secure the Strait of Hormuz. The passage, where a fifth of the world's oil supply flows, has become a focal point in the conflict.
India's foreign minister says diplomacy with Iran over the access to the Strait of Hormuz is working as New Delhi scrambles to keep cooking gas flowing to its citizens. Dr. S. Jaishankar told the Financial Times that direct talks with Tehran are, quote, already yielding some results, with 2 Indian liquefied petroleum gas tankers crossing the strait over the weekend. Ishan Garg has more from New Delhi.
Minister S. Jaishankar says it is more productive to reason and coordinate with Tehran rather than avoid engagement, though he cautions there is no blanket deal yet, with ship movements still being handled case by case. India imports around 60% of its LPG and nearly 90% of those shipments pass through the Strait of Hormuz. 22 Indian vessels remain stranded west of the strait, and New Delhi is pushing for their safe passage. Reports say the government has ordered refiners to maximize domestic cooking gas output and set up a round-the-clock control room to track supplies.
Beijing, meanwhile, says it's urged Washington to correct its actions following the U.S. launching new trade probes last week and to address differences through dialogue. Top economic officials from both countries are meeting in Paris in what could pave the way for a summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping.
Washington's trade investigations target 60 economies, including China, looking into failures to take action on forced labour and whether these burden or restrict U.S. commerce. A separate set of U.S. probes are centred on allegations of overcapacity, targeting China and other key partners. Beijing calls the latest round of investigations arbitrary and discriminatory, accusing Washington of attempting to construct trade barriers. Human rights groups and United Nations experts have voiced concerns over allegations of forced labour affecting minority groups in China's Xinjiang region. Beijing has dismissed it as fabricated. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking all this week at various aspects of the US and Israel's war on Iran, starting today with one big winner who can already be identified from the conflict. It's Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Americans have lifted sanctions on his oil in an effort to drive the global price of the commodity down, and the war has benefited the Russian leader in a number of other ways, according to Sir Robin Niblett, Distinguished Fellow and former Director of Chatham House in London.
He's definitely better off now than he was at the start of the war, mainly because of the price of oil. So everything they're selling, and they're still selling what they were selling before, is at, a 30 to 40% price higher than it was. So that's number one.
Yeah.
The second element, of course, is that America is expending a lot of political capital on this war, difficult relationships, even more difficult now with its allies. It may end up with a much more cautious relationship with its Gulf allies as well. They weren't all behind this conflict and feel that maybe America has been pulled into Israel's pocket on it. It may gain in influence by seeing, America lose influence. And then in the end, America's spending a lot of money on weaponry that can't be spent somewhere else. It can't be given to Ukraine. And obviously it can't be used in the Pacific area either. So if you look at the balance of forces, Russia is gaining.
Tomorrow, the impact of the war on Iran's cultural sites and sites of antiquity. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. Iran's foreign minister has rejected any suggestions that his government has asked the United States for a ceasefire as the conflict in the Middle East enters its third week. Oil prices have touched $100 per barrel again as U.S. President Donald Trump is calling for NATO allies and China to help secure the vital Strait of Hormuz. And that is the latest feature story news. Neha Punya reporting.
Radio. Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, another pitfall of our society, that is for sure. That is what we do around here. This is the Rated R Safety Show. Okay, so let's start talking right away about some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's kind of what we do around here, no doubt about that. So, with that being said, let's talk about some of the things that are happening in the immediate, because that seems to be the cool thing to do. Donald Trump says that the coalition of countries will send warships to reopen the strait after Iran attempted to block the vital shipping route. What else? Trump said that Iran, I can't even read anymore. Says that Iran, I better say that properly before I attempted to block the vital shipping route. Trump said that Iran has been attacking vessels and may be laying mines in the strait, disrupting the global trade. The narrow waterway is critical because of the 20% of the world's oil supply moves through there every day. Iran began restricting traffic shortly after the fighting broke out 2 weeks ago between Iran and the U.S. Israel alliance. Iran's new supreme leader said that the closure would remain in place to pressure the U.S. and Israel to stop their attack. Trump said that several nations affected by the disruption, including China, France, Japan, South Korea, and the United Kingdom, are expected to join the United States in sending naval forces to keep the route open. So there you go. What do you think there? A lot of stuff for sure. No doubt. Okay, so let's talk. Brendan Carr, chairman of the FCC, warned broadcasters that they could lose their license if they continue airing what they call hoaxes and news distortions. Carr said that stations that spread false reporting, which he labeled fake news, should correct their coverage before upcoming license renewal under the FCC rules. Broadcasters must operate in the public interest to keep their licenses. The warning comes as Donald Trump's administration criticizes media coverage in the ongoing conflict with Iran, including reports that the U.S. officials ignored warning that Iran might try to close the strait. Trump and Pete Hegseth also pushed back on the report several of the U.S. Anchor's aircraft were damaged by Saudi airbase, saying that the planes were hit but not destroyed. Carr also pointed that the declining public trust of the traditional media outlets, though the surveys from Gallup and Pew Research Center show that the mixed results. A recent Gallup poll found about 28% of Americans say that they have declined. They have a great deal have declined in the trust of the media, with such higher among Democrats than Republicans. The FCC regulates the broadcast license and local TV stations, including affiliates like ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC, which must periodically renew their licenses to continue operating on public airwaves. So what do you think there? Interesting. I'm not going to lie. I think it's definitely going to be an interesting one as we are talking. What else do I have? Okay, Donald Trump says that says U.S. could soon reach a deal with Cuba or take other actions of the talks that don't work out. Speaking of reports aboard the Air Force One yesterday, the president said Cuba is interested in negotiating and that progress could happen quickly. However, he noted the administration is currently focused on dealing with Iran first and finalizing anything before finalizing anything with Cuba. The comments come as relations between Washington and Havana remain strained after years of sanctions, diplomatic disputes, and tensions and security. Meanwhile, Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel confirmed that talks with the United States have begun. He said the discussions are aimed in resolving longstanding disagreements through dialogue as Cuba struggles with one of the worst economic crises in decades. So there you go, some stuff to talk about. Take a listen to this one. Authorities say that the man behind violent attacks at the synagogues in Michigan had a family connection to the militant group that targeted overseas. According to Israel Defense Forces, by attacker Ayman Ghazali was a brother of Abramian Ghazali, who Israelis officially say was killed in recent strikes in Lebanon on a facility connected to Hezbollah. Investigators say that Ayman drove the car filled with explosives into the temple in Temple Israel, crashing through the front doors and driving down a hallway as the vehicle caught fire. He later died by suicide after exchanging gunfire in the synagogue with synagogue security. Israeli officials say that the brother had managed weapons for a Hezbollah-linked group, though U.S. authorities said that the attack had no evidence that Ayman himself was a member of the group. People close to the family say that the attacker may have been motivated by anger and grief after several relatives had reportedly been killed in the Israeli airstrike days earlier during the gathering in Lebanon. The incident has drawn condemnation from officials, including Gretchen Wilmer, who described the synagogue attack as anti-Semitism. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on there as we are talking. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
The more that I want to understand the world, the less that I seem to understand it in the way that I would like to. That is for sure. At least that's the way it comes across to me as we are doing our thing. That is for sure. So there you go. There you go. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on inside of the world. No doubt about that. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Take a listen to this one real quick as we are giving some consideración to everything. Top airlines executives are urging Congress to end the ongoing government shutdown because it causes bigger problems for air travel. A coalition led by Airlines for America sent an open letter asking lawmakers to fund the U.S. Department of Homeland Security so airport workers, including Transportation Security Administration screeners, custom officers, and air traffic controllers can keep getting paid. The airline leaders warned that repeated shutdowns are already leading to long security lines delays and cancellations, and the situation could worsen with heavy travel coming up. They noted that 171 million passengers are expected to fly in the months ahead for events like vacations, the FIFA World Cup, and celebrations tied to the nation's 250th anniversary. The letter was signed by CEOs of major companies, or carriers, better say, including American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, JetBlue, and cargo giants FedEx and UPS. Executives pointed out that some airport security workers have already received $0 paycheck-wise, warning that it's unfair and unsubstantiated and unsustainable as well for essential workers responsible for flight safety. So what do you think here? I mean, that is just crazy times. I mean, I think about it for a moment. Just for a moment. You are asked to go to work for no pay. Think about it. You're asked to go to work for no pay. What is your answer going to be? I mean, most people would be like, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, within reason, of course. So what do you think here? It's just one of those crazy times as we are talking. So there you go. Some stuff that we are talking about there. Okay, so let's start continuing talking about some of the world of the strange that we live in. Take a listen to this. In a TikTok video, a female influencer called a dealership and said that she wants a free car in exchange for sending her social media followers to the dealership. She has over 100,000 followers on her social media. She wants a BMW. Take a listen to this.
Is this Mike from Empire Auto?
This is.
Hi, so I have seen your content all over over my social media, and I love the cars you have.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm a local influencer, actually, and I have over 100,000 followers on my social media platforms.
Okay.
So I was wondering if you wanted to do a collaboration.
What were you
So let's see how this collaboration is going to sound here in a moment.
thinking?
I was thinking I could maybe do a video, come in, say how much I love Empire Auto, how much I love your cars, and then you could give me a car for free.
So, 100,000 followers. I want you to think about that, and you're asking for a free car, a BMW to be exact. So let's continue.
You want me to give you a car for free?
Yeah, I actually love the BMW X6 that you have right now. Can you give me that one?
Wait, what kind of influencer are you?
I'm just like lifestyle, like I just do day in my life.
So this is where it gets interesting. Like, so what kind of influencer are you? Besides it's interesting, like who's recording the call? Is it the dealership or is it the influencer? And who put in the sound effects? That's the other thing.
And then, whenever businesses need me to like do a video for them, I, go in and then just tell my followers about my experience.
Can I go on?
What are the odds of like the followers in the 100,000s? How many cars would you have to sell just to give if you gave away one? Let's continue here.
Your page and tell them how much I love your lifestyle page, and then you can give me something for free that's worth like 40,000.
That's not typically how I do my collaborations. I was kind of more hoping that, you would give me something, and then, I have a lot of followers, so I could just send my followers there, to Empire Auto, like, come here if you need a car, and, if you don't want to give me the X6, I'll take the X4.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand this, but we still got some more. Let's continue.
So you're negotiating this. Great. Are you Kim Kardashian?
I'm better than Kim Kardashian.
Oh, okay.
Since I do have a lot of followers, if I, give you a bad review, that could be bad for you. So I would maybe just go through with it and give me the car.
And then I can sue you for defamation.
I don't think we need to do that. I just think I'll take the car.
No, I'm good. Thank you for calling and reaching out, though, but I'm good. Thank you.
That's crazy. If that's legit, that's kind of crazy that you would call and say, "Hey, let's exchange a car because I'm going to put something on my social media." It's just weird. I don't know. It's a very interesting time for me in regards to when I take a listen to some of these things that we get to do together here. How crazy do we want to get here? Okay, let's talk about this. Fashion blogger Janine Jacob is pushing back on the idea that people become unattractive in their mid-40s. In a viral Instagram video with more than 60,000 views, Jacob, who is in her early 50s, responded to the claim that women aren't prepared for becoming ugly as they age. Instead, she said that the biggest surprise about getting older is how freeing it feels and stop worrying about what other things about their appearance, especially men. Jacob acknowledged that she has wrinkles, gray hair, thinning hair, but said that she feels more comfortable with herself than ever and enjoys no longer feeling pressure of male gaze. Her message resonated with many viewers who shared similar experiences about feeling more confident and less concerned with outside approval as they age. Some commenters agreed that aging can bring a sense of freedom, while others pointed out that women can still face cultural pressures and criticism about their appearances as they get older.
Okay, so there was this woman on here talking about how nobody prepared her for being ugly.
Did they say a woman on here? Wouldn't you know where the source came from by just reading? Let's continue.
In her mid-40s. And I want to talk about, I thought that was really interesting, but I want to talk about one thing no one prepared me for. No one prepared me for how little I would care about what people think about my looks, especially men. Like, genuinely, nobody prepared me for how comfortable I would feel about my looks at this age. Yes, I have wrinkles, I have thinning hair, I have gray hair.
I can't even believe we're talking about this. Seriously.
I frizzy hair. I have all of the things that are like unconventionally or conventionally bad, but I literally could not care less. Like, I did my time.
I'm so confused. It almost sounds like I was barking there for a moment. But man, what is going on here? Let's continue.
In the patriarchy, and my time is done. I aged out. I am done with that.
Did she just say she aged out in her 40s? Interesting.
I have never felt more free being so ugly. And honestly,
I've never felt more free being so ugly. Okay, that's interesting.
That's been the most freeing feeling I have ever felt in my entire life, and I am so grateful for it.
Okay, hold on. The most freeing feeling I have ever had in my life is that I'm ugly? Okay, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is all in the eyes of the beholder what's important, what's not. I don't know. I get so confused sometimes in regards to some of the stuff that goes on. No doubt about that. Okay, so I don't know. What a weird time we live in sometimes as we start talking about stuff. Okay, so let's talk about this. A new study suggests that most people on dating apps think that they are being unique, but they're actually following the same predictable photo playbook. Researchers analyzed 1,000. Yes, I did say
1,000
Tinder profiles in Barcelona and found that nearly everyone falls into 9 common profile photo types. The study was led by psychologist Alejandro Garcia Alemán from Open University in Catalonia. The 9 main photo styles include half portrait, the most neutral and social acceptable ones. Casual posers looking from the camera to seem spontaneous and friendly. Close-up selfies may signal concerns about appearance or aging. Full portrait, commonly used for straight women. Sunglasses used for the kind of shield of partial concealment. Nature lover suggests an active outdoorsy lifestyle. Nothing to hide, more revealing photo that can signal interest in casual hookups. Screensaver, generic images like landscapes or quotes used often by older users. And a bit of myself, partial folders that hide some of the person's appearance. Researchers say that people often pick these photos not because they reflect who they are, but because they think that others won't want to see it that way. The strategy can make profiles feel generic, contribute to the dating app. A few trends popped up in the data. Only about 10% of profiles use highly revealing photos, despite dating apps' hookup reputation. And younger users showed more skin, though 30 to 39-year-olds surprisingly had the most revealing first photos. Straight women tended to smile more and show their full body, while straight men lean towards action or outdoor photos. The takeaway profile pictures quietly send messages about personality, lifestyle, and intentions. According to researchers, the best move is simple. Pick photos that actually reflect who you are, not who you think people want you to be. So there you go, some stuff to think about. Anyways, as it is past the 32-minute mark, so let's go ahead and get into that thing that we call our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So when you get a moment here, I want you to walk over and look out your front window. I mean, you can do it right now, but if you're driving, just look through the windshield, because that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Now, take a good look at that physical world. The sun could be shining where you're located. The guy in the next door could be mowing his lawn. The traffic light turns from green to yellow or to red. By the way, the worst thing they tell you to do in radio is talk about being stuck in traffic. And the cars stop exactly like they're supposed to. The delivery truck pulls out to the curb and drops the cardboard boxes. Everything looks incredibly safe. It looks stable, and it sure as shit looks permanent. If you rely on, your two human eyes, the physical world is functioning perfectly. There's no explosions. There's no smoke on the horizon. There are no sirens in the distance. You feel completely secure because human beings are biologically hardwired to only fear the threats that we can physically see. Normally how it goes. Because while the guy peacefully mowing the lawn 800 miles away is in a windowless, sterilized, climate-controlled server farm in the middle of absolutely nowhere, the world just ended. Let's pull the camera back for a moment and let's look at the digital construct. Deep inside one of these massive data centers, a single piece of malicious code, a silent ransomware virus inserted into the state-sponsored hacker, or maybe just pissed off ex-contractor just woke up. It executed what it needed to. There was no bomb. There was no physical breath of a perimeter fence or breach of a perimeter fence, and it was just silent. And it just flips ones and zeros is all it does. And in a fraction, in a millisecond, the digital arteries of the region were completely slashed. And now let's look at the bleed. Let's talk about the digital collapse that quietly strangles the physical world without anyone noticing until it's far too late. Over at the massive 1.5 million square foot automated logistics hub at the edge of town, the physical building looks totally fine. But inside, the warehouse management software just went dark. The automated guide vehicles, those 10,000-pound robotic forklifts that zip around the floor, just lost spatial mapping. The digital brain connecting them to the grid of the is gone entirely. Suddenly, a massive robotic lift carrying 2 tons of steel goes totally rogue. The safety interlocks, which are entirely controlled by software, and fail to open. The machine doesn't stop. It plows through a pedestrian walkway, pinning a 28-year-old worker against a steel racking system. He's screaming. The physical blood is spilling onto the concrete, but the guy mowing his lawn 3 miles away has no idea. The physical world outside still looks perfect. And let's take a step further and let's look at the municipal grid. The same virus just cascaded into the regional healthcare network. Inside of the local hospital, the lights are still on. The backup generators are still humming, and it looks safe physical environment, but down in the basement, the automated supply chain software that regulates the refrigeration units for the blood plasma and the insulin that has just been locked up. The temperature gauges are frozen on the screen, lying to the nurses, telling them that everything is 38 degrees while the actual physical temperature is rapidly rising. Life-saving medicine is spoiling by the minute. Patient records are encrypted and completely inaccessible. The ER doctors are suddenly flying blind, unable to see if it's allergic to what. People are going to die today. The physical bodies on those gurneys are going to fail. And yet, if you look out your window, the birds are still chirping. The illusion of the physical world hasn't broken yet. And this is the absolute clusterfuck of the modern society. We have built a civilization maximizing efficiency and zero resiliency. And let's bring this right back to the blue line, and let's talk about the corporate safety culture that we live in. We spend billions of dollars every single year, obsessing over physical hazards. We hand out hard hats. We mandate steel-toed boots. We make everyone wear high-vis vests. They look like human highlighters is really what it boils down to.
Duh.
And we put yellow guardrails, we paint lines on the floor, and we hold them as mandatory 30-minute meetings of safety stand-downs about proper ergonomics and how to lift a 40-pound box. We manage the physical world like it's the only thing that matters. But we are completely and willfully blind to the fact that we have surrendered our actual survival to the invisible digital threads. We let spreadsheet mafia and the C-suite offshore our IT infrastructure to the lowest bidder to save cents of the quarterly dividends. We tie massive, dangerous kinetic machinery to Wi-Fi networks that can be hacked by a teenager with a laptop and a grudge. We trust algorithms more than we trust human operators. We have taken human brains, the greatest, most adaptable safety mechanisms in history of the universe, and we have replaced it with brittle code. When the software dies, the physical world bleeds. And the scariest part is the lag time. There is a terrifying delay between the moment the digital system collapses and the moment the physical consequences finally show up at your front door. It is an invisible shockwave. By the time the guy mowing the lawn finally realizes that the water coming out of his hose just stopped running because the municipal pumping station software was hijacked, the collapse is already complete. The grocery store shelves are already empty and the gas pumps are already dead. We are living in a digital house of cards, constantly pretending that the physical hard hat is going to protect us from the ceiling caving. You cannot fix the digital hemorrhage with a piece of caution tape. You cannot protect your workforce by just staring at the physical hazards while ignoring invisible systems that actually control them. So as we start to bring the main story into a landing and wrap up the segment, I want you to remember that the next time you walk into your facility, stop looking for just the steel and the concrete. Stop assuming that because the physical world looks quiet that the system is safe. The next massive disaster in your organization isn't going to start with a spark or a physical explosion. It is going to start with a complete silence. It is going to start with a piece of code. And by the time you can finally see it with your own eyes, you're already standing in the wreckage, is normally how it goes. Think about that for a moment. Question the software, question the grid, because when digital construct finally breaks, the physical world is what pays the butcher bill. Think about that.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author Jay Allen. PhD, because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Okay. You are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. This right here you're taking to listen to, it's Forrest Taylor. Name of the song? Soft Eyes. Yep, Soft Eyes for you. So there you go. Yep. You can catch this one, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. Some options for you. Always a good time when we are hanging out. So there you go. We would like to thank Forrest Taylor for allowing us to play this one on the Rated R Safety Show. So there you go. Give it a little streamer-eamer action. Enjoy it. Take a listen to it. Everything you can in regards to what's going on. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime right now, and that is about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. And go to the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you're going to see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Some interesting times for sure as we are talking, no doubt about that. So there you go. Let's talk about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's kind of what we do around here. Let me tell you about this one real quick, if you don't mind. In a couple of weeks here, we're going to be doing an event in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and this is the Conklin Workshop. This one, we're going to be taking a look at some incidents and how to handle them and doing an investigation using the lens of Hob. We'll have Todd Conklin leading that thing out. We'll be looking at an event that happened to Redonda Voigt, firsthand experience, and we'll look at some technology pieces that were built by Brett Sutton and the Learning Teams, Inc., and have Ann Laren there, as she is a medical expert, and she will take a look around exactly at some of the things that happened during this particular incident. So there you go. Would love to see you there. It's happening March the 31st through April the 1st. In Santa Fe, New Mexico, at Hotel Santa Fe. There is a QR code on the screen if you want to give that a little scan or interaction, or if not, you go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says Live Events. So there you go. There you go. Some things going on right there. And that's happening at Hotel Santa Fe. We also have another event coming up in July. That's July the 13th, to be exact. We're calling it Reality Shift. We'll have Nick Weatherly there talking about behavior-based safety. We'll also have Todd Conklin having a discussion about human and organizational performance. I will be there as well, talking about all things related to Signal. So there you go. This one's going to be kind of a different event because we'll be hosting this one inside of a movie theater. So what does that mean? That means that we'll be doing the movie theater aspect of the whole thing, which will be kind of interesting. So large screen format. We'll also have a documentary / movie that we'll play during the symposium itself. It's going to be a one-day event in Orlando. The reason why we are doing it on a Monday is because that way, if you want to spend the weekend in Orlando, you can do that, and then we can get you moving and grooving on Monday and get you through the whole process. If you want to find out more information about that one, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says Live Events, and that is going on July the 13th of 2026. Listen, yeah, the QR code's right there on the screen. You can give that a little scan or enter. That will take you there, or you can show up and we can go from there. inside of Orlando. More information if you go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. Anyways, it's almost that time. Let's go ahead and bring some John Small into our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Sandy. Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss, said, "We are all a little weird, and it's a little weird when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours. We join up with them and fall in mutual weirdness and call it love." I love this quote. I'm weird. My wife is weird. We found the other person whose weirdness matches ours. There are times we laugh, even when something horrible happens to us. Things that would have torn many couples apart have actually brought us closer together because we're weird. And I have a hope for you. I hope you find someone weird too. Someone who is your same kind of weird. How do you find them? I don't know. I think the most important part is just being your genuine self. I know that's how I found my wife, but your results may vary. Just get out there and be weird.
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Iran firmly rejects any talks with the United States as their ongoing war shows no signs of easing amid fresh missile strikes.
Gulf Arab states report new drone and missile attacks on key ports. Iran called for evacuations there just one day earlier. Officials say the conflict has worsened Lebanon's crisis with over 800 dead and 850,000 displaced from Israeli strikes on Hezbollah. Gary Beck reporting.
Formula One cancels two big races in the Middle East because the war with Iran has disrupted schedules and safety.
CNN reports. The sports world feels the ripple effects from the escalating tensions. Race organizers pulled the events to protect drivers and fans. Team principals call it a tough but necessary move as global calendars shift. Liam White reporting.
Severe floods in Kenya have now claimed 62 lives, with heavy rains pounding the region and trapping more in danger.
Rescuers pulled 11 people from a minibus stuck in Nairobi floodwaters overnight. The downpours show no let-up, swelling rivers and flooding homes. Officials urge folks in low areas to seek higher ground fast. Benjamin Wright reporting.
The U.S. Army identifies 6 service members killed in a refueling plane crash over Iraq amid rising war tensions.
The military released names of the crew from the tragic incident on Sunday. Investigations point to mechanical failure in rough skies. Families receive support as bases honor the fallen with quiet ceremonies. Lawrence Keller reporting.
President Trump says he is not ready for a deal to end the war with Iran and urges allies to secure vital sea routes.
He renewed calls for help guarding the Strait of Hormuz, where oil tankers face threats. Energy prices climb as disruptions hit global supplies. White House officials stress unity to pressure Tehran into peace. Kyle Norris reporting.
Students at Old Dominion University sprang into action to stop a shooter, leaving 1 dead and 2 hurt on campus.
The brave cadets subdued the gunman quickly during the Sunday attack. Police praised their training for saving lives in the chaos. The school boosts security while the community rallies around victims. Shelley White reporting.
A massive monster storm tears across the U.S., killing at least 17, with fierce winds and floods battering wide areas.
Emergency crews dig out from wreckage Sunday as power stays out for thousands. States declare disasters to speed aid to hardest hit spots. Forecasters warn of more rough weather rolling in soon. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Former DHS official warns America needs a bold new plan for fighting terror after 2 attacks shook the nation this week.
Jonathan Gannon told CBS News, rising threats demand fresh strategies beyond old playbooks. Energy prices spike adds to home front worries from global fights. Lawmakers push hearings to boost defenses right away. Jessica Oakley reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Oh, yes, that's kind of where it happens, where we're doing all of our stuff. Let's continue talking real quick about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 1968, General Motors produces its 100 millionth automobile. It was an Oldsmobile Toyota Tornado. There you go. Also in 1979, CBS TV airs Wing Over the World with Paul McCartney. In 1994, Tonya Harding pleads guilty to the felony attack on Nancy Kerrigan. And in 2007, the first three-way tie occurs on Jeopardy. So there you go. That's some things that happened back on this date. Let's talk about some celebrity birthdays going on today, because some people will care about that. Eric Estrada turned 77. Nancy Wilson turned 72. Ozzie Newsome turned 70. Flavor Flav turned 67 today. And Wolfgang Van Halen turns 35. So there you go. Okay, what else did we talk about? Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Reminder, just in case you were not aware of this, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. It's a big deal for some, so just keep that in mind. Also, an official in Trump's administration is proposing a decorative change in the front of the White House. Rodney Mims Cook Jr., who leads the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts, has suggested replacing the building's current iconic style columns with the main entrance with more elaborate Corinthian columns, the same ornament style used on the landmark like the United States Capitol and the Supreme Court of the United States building. According to reports, Donald Trump has frequently used the Corinthian columns in his own properties and also is planning on the feature of proposed $4 million ballroom in addition at the White House. So there you go, some things to think about. Also, at last night's Academy Awards, stars were sweating as they arrived. The Los Angeles heat wave sent temperatures soaring into the 80s and mid 90s all weekend. Heated rivalry star Hudson Williams has been with electric fan in his hand. So there you go. Also, here are Friday's winning Mega Million numbers. It was 6, 19, 36, 40, and 55. The Mega Ball was 9. And here are Saturday's Powerball numbers. It was 9, 30, 42, 50, 52. Power Ball was 21. Power Play was 3. And since there was no jackpot winner, the next one will be for $88 million. Also, March Madness has arrived, which means productivity at work is about to drop faster than a busted bracket. Things to start with the first 4 tomorrow at UD Arena in Dayton. And the play is around that decides which team squeezes into the main 68-team tournament brackets. The 8 teams heading to Dayton to fight those last spots are, do we care? Let's see. It's Texas Longhorns, NC State Wolfpack, UMBC Retrievers, Howard Bison, Miami Redhawks, SMU Mustangs, Prairie View A&M, and Lee Mountain Hawks. So there you go. If you care about March Madness, that's what's going on. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If not, you can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So that's it. Anyways, here we go. That sums it up. By the way, it's spring break this week. I don't know what the hell's going on this week. If I'll be here, if I won't be here. So I just want to kind of let you know. You know, the kids kind of control my schedule this week. Just a little FYI. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.